Yeah, it's been a minute. Huh?
Yeah, most of your life.
Yeah, first time I recorded a song was in 96.
God damn.
Yeah, man. So
that's where we're starting off.
I was still in school, but yeah, man, it's been a minute. But we give thanks. We're still here doing what we love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and trying to see what else we can do in other ventures.
It's so crazy. You don't look like a guy who recorded his music fast in 1990. You look like a guy who first recorded his song in 2016. Oh, like a baby face. Anywho, East African Bashment Crew, probably East Africa's biggest collaboration at that time. Arguably, the way this artist came together to give us music from two different countries, it was monstrous. I remember when East African Bashment Crew, that song Fire. How did this come about?
We had just dropped our Necessary Noize album. It had been out for a couple of months, and we were on tour in the US with Nas. And while we're there, Bebe Cool reached out because he was planning a comeback concert in Uganda. Bebe started his career himself in Chameleon. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, One to Moja was Red Sun and Lyrical Rico and a couple of other guys. But they had Bebe, Chameleon and Red Sun. They had a unit, you know what I mean? So I remember they started their solo careers here in Nairobi. And so we used to meet Beats of the Season, a couple of festivals, Tulijuana Sana, you know what I mean? And we used to perform at these Miss Kenya gigs and Miss Tourism, whatever, were the main acts half of the time. So Bebe reached out because our album was doing pretty well in Uganda at that time.
Yeah.
He said, you know what, I'd like my brothers to come and support me for my comeback concert. So we came back immediately from state to state, 2 days, flew over to UG. So when I landed there, I was like, man, bro, listen, King of the Jungle, that jam was it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a classic. And he was like, you know what? So let's panga, we hit studio. Myself, you and Nas. Let's see what we can work on. So that night we hit studio and we worked on Africa Unite. And 2 days after we performed it on stage. So the wow factor is that nobody had ever seen us doing one song together on stage ever. So that song really took off in Uganda.
Yeah.
Now, because of that one concert and starting to get rotation on that side, we kept on going to UG every 2 to 3 weeks, for gigs. And every time we went back, we kept on going to record. And that's when we managed to record Now Fire Anthem. Now Fire just took a life of its own, man.
Dude,
it was crazy.
That song.
It was madness.
It's not still is a banger. I can tell you every time we're on stage and that particular song drops, Kenyans just go crazy.
It's crazy. And then, guys was actually seeing East Africa up there because it was Kenya, myself from Kenya, Bebe from UG. Naza has her TZ roots as well. You know what I mean? So it was interesting combination up there.
Love it. But we're not going to claim. We are claiming Nazizi fully. fully. Let the Tanzanians know. Who was the songwriter between you, Nazizi, and Bamzege? Now going back to Necessary Noize, because when you listen to the lyrics, you can tell everybody's bringing their own originality. Nas was a rapper before joining Necessary Noize, and even in Necessary Noize, she was a rapper. And then you have Bamzege, who was doing his own thing, joining you guys. You were an R&B guy. Who was doing the lyrics?
No, everybody did their own. I know Ted would sit down and work on a beat, and now you as an artist, it's your work to interpret it in the best way you can, using your style and lyrically and your flow. And so it was pretty easy working as NN because everybody had their own way of interpreting the beat. You know what I mean? So when you're working as a group, it's much easier to finish a song, much easier. If maybe I try and do some bars and they're not quite working, and I was like, hey, Kev, man, Bubsy try something. I'm like, hey, dude, you've tried that, but nah, it's not working. We really pushed boundaries, man, back then. But one of the most important things Ted Josiah taught us back then, you see, one day we were just hungry to put out music, you know what I mean? All the bars and flows, doing our dancehall and hip hop and R&B. One day Ted walked into the studio while we were working on the album, and he was like, you know what? Yes, you sound good as rappers and dancehall artists, but we need it all comes down to relevance of your language to your people. You know what I mean? So the moment he said that, we started experimenting, and that's how we started working on songs like Daddy Da. You know what I mean? And Daddy Da ended up being like the biggest song on that album. You know, because people could relate to it. You know, your usual stories when you're going out on the rev.
Nikodania kanina hashu mfukoni.
People are exactly. Man. So you're in those kind of situations, and you can relate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we learnt a lot from Ted, man. Definitely.
Shout out to Ted Josiah, who's now a leather guy.
Yeah, man.
No More Music and a daddy.
Yeah, but music, it never leaves you, man.
Is he still producing?
Yes, but I doubt you can ever retire.
From music.
The passion is there.
It's 9:30. I'm hanging out with the man, the legend himself, Wyre, and we're talking music, guys. And there's a question I asked you. You've had all the things that he has mentioned, but Necessary Noize, when they came together, which was over 20 years ago, they did a hit collabo. That was their first release. The name of the song had 2 words repeated. Yes. What is the name of that song? Hit me up on the hashtag The Morning Kiss. Remember, you're on Kenya's #1 hit music station, Kiss FM. Babe rapping.
Yeah, man.
And and she's saying, Mama, nataka kuwa rapper. I'm like,
crazy.
Who is this? What?
Nataka kuwa famous kala mashaka. Crazy. Crazy. And she had bars back then.
Bars. And the hallmark of a great artist is, I think, is to be dynamic. You know, you can be here and you can be there. Both of you have that dynamism. You were an R&B artist and you are a reggae artist, dancehall artist. Nazizi as well was a hip-hop artist, or is a hip-hop artist. She is actually known as the icon in hip-hop when it comes to the game. And then she's also an icon in reggae.
Reggae as well.
Bruv, like, you meet the Bobo Shanti guys and they're like, Sistren.
Yeah, she got respect.
Ruth's daughter.
Mad respect down there, man.
That's what you call a very dynamic artist.
I think it helps to be versatile as an artist and to be able to change with the times. And I think that's what keeps the brand alive. You know what I mean? I think the challenge of every artist is to be able to, maintain their relevance without maybe not necessarily selling out.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I see.
I think I call it being commercially clever. You know what I mean? Change with the times, man.
So in that's the question I was actually going to ask you. What prompted the switch from R&B to reggae? Is it that Kenya is a big reggae community? It's because you grew up at the river.
I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't know why guys decided I was an R&B artist already, because I did not box myself in a certain genre. Fine, I dropped the Chukis, the Suhubas, and they took off. Which was a good thing, and I give thanks for that. But I never came out and said, listen, me, I'm an R&B artist. I mean, the more versatile you are, the better. It's just that some genres really took off for me, and I became comfortable in that sound. And the general market received me in that style. So I decided, let me explore it more, and it really took off. It paid off for sure.
Which one would you say is your biggest collabo? I don't want to tell you your best, then you start saying, I don't want to can say Cecile, and then Alain will feel bad.
I think there were moments where, certain collabos really took off. You know what I mean? I remember when I did Mwanake, was just that was ridiculous, because I started getting called for Mogidi shows. And JB started being called for street jams. You know what I mean? So that cross over culture thing really worked for us. She said that was huge in the clubs,
and to me,
but Nakupenda Pair also, that one did stuff. That was amazing.
But getting together as Necessary Noize, at what point did you know, okay, this was the right move? Because you were a solo artist, then you joined a group.
This was a unit. Funny thing is that after recording Clang Clang, we dropped it on radio, and it stuck on the charts for like 3-4 weeks. Around the same time, we were launching Safaricom that year, actually. And
sorry, no, you gotta reverse. there's a Gen Z right now saying, "What do you mean?
Did I just how old
the world didn't start with Safaricom?" Tell us what? Repeat that statement.
We were launching Safaricom that same year. So Audio Vault at that point, which was our label, got the contract to do some activations and PR for Safaricom, and we were doing tours, activations. And I remember the first show we did was at Nakumatt, UK. Just it no longer exists, but yeah. So we did the first show and we performed, and our next stop was meant to be, we're doing a show in Eastlands as well. So we're in the van. David, our manager, David Murray, came to the door and said, "Guys, listen. Before you get to the next stop, you need a stage name. You need a group name. I'm not going to introduce you as Wyre, Nazizi, and Bamzi. No, I'm not doing that." That was the longest drive for us.
What would it have been if it was not Necessary Noize? What are some of the names that were proposed?
We were experimenting letters, like B, W, N. But like we were like, nah.
B and W would have been a really cool name.
B&W, but we're like, nah, man. Maybe letters would sound corny, And then all of a sudden, Nas said Necessary Noize, and we were like, there was silence in the van. And we're like, you know what, that's it.
Nice.
Because it described us. You know what I mean? We gelled so well. Normally put different artists who've never worked before on one jam. You probably get Noize. But in our case, it was necessary because it gelled so well. So, it was quite interesting, man.
Of course, the question, I've got so many more questions, but I want us to finish off the conversation around Necessary Noize. 20 years on, we see you and Nazizi. Actually, by the time you were doing the second album, you were just two of you.
Yes.
What happened? What happened with Bamzigi?
Remember shortly after we did the first album, self-titled one. They traveled abroad for further studies. I continued pursuing my production career and engineering. Then they came back maybe after a year or two, and around the same time, I remember Coca-Cola was sponsoring different musical projects. They'd just done Dig's album. Then Ted had a talk with them, and they decided, let's jump on the Necessary Noize album. So we started working on it as three of us. But halfway through, I think Bamzi's folks were like, they were like, I think you need to go and clear your studies. So Bamzi came to us and talked to us as a team, and he was like, you know what, guys, I don't want to be the one responsible to stall the project. So I'll need to go and clear my studies. I just need your blessings, you know what I mean? And we were cool, you know what I mean? We understood. We were like, man, do your thing. Myself and Nas will continue with the unit, and let's see how it goes. So it was very amicable. There was a lot of rumors that there was beef. Guys expected diss tracks coming out, but nah, it wasn't that.
It was just amicable.
In fact, there was still one song that Bamzi was on that we left on the album, him and Atemi. But that album took off. That one.
That's the one that gave us Kenyan Boy, Kenyan Girl. And we still love it. 16 minutes to 10 a.m. We are dropping a brand new single from the man himself, Wyre. He's in studio here with us on Kenya's #1 hit music station, Kiss FM. When I come back, I want to know, you are loved by the women, especially when you're on stage. My goodness. You're just like, girls, control yourself. This is somebody's husband. How do you manage, all these years to stay without any, without any scandal? How did you manage all that? We're going to talk about that. Remember, you on the Morning Kiss.
I think if you can strike the balance, the better, man.
In this question, there's no balance.
No, imagine. In my case, no. Let's go with balance.
You
know what I mean? Get a bit of both, you should be good to go. Man. Because you want to look back in your career and be proud of what you did. You know what I mean? Feel that you still celebrated, and you feel like you haven't wasted your time. You know what I mean? In the studio.
And right now you're doing some amazing work with Blow. Looking back and helping other artists get to the successes that you've experienced. How's that going?
Very great, man. It's been a great journey. It's been about 2 years since I joined the tech. I partnered with Adanian Labs, a startup incubator, and we worked on a music tech platform called Blow. And it helps artists to be able to monetize their art much earlier in their careers, so that guys don't have to take 5 to 10 years to start making revenue with the content they have. At whatever level you are, you can start monetizing with your immediate fan base.
I love that.
Nice.
And before we took the break, I asked you, a lot of artists always get themselves in scandals, because you start drinking the Kool-Aid of fame, right?
Yeah.
And somehow you've remained grounded. I can't remember a time where I've had a scandal involving you just doing some crazy stuff out there. How do you manage to keep yourself balanced?
I don't know.
Even at the peak of your career?
I think at some point it became like scandals became like an in thing for you. Create a scandal somewhere, or get involved in a scandal for you to trend. But we're from the old school where your music is what sells you. You know what I mean? So if you're not selling records or selling out venues, you're not doing well. You know what I mean? So I think that's what really pushed us to strive to be the best in what you do. Another thing is that I live a very private life. My whole life is in front of cameras, and I'm on stage, man. So what do I have to myself? Or when I'm off that, away from that, it's my private life. So that's why I value it and I cherish it so much.
Love it. Now, you've spoken about music, and we're here for the music. Achana Now, brand new single, Wyre. Tunachana na nani?
Watu wacha kusumbuana na watu, maisha yao, to live your life. It's about this couple that is getting affected by what everybody else is saying. You know what I mean? And it's starting to affect their relationship.
All right. Yeah. Brand new single. You're hearing it first right here. Wyre is back and he's got a hit. How do you feel it? Inaitwa Achana Now. Take a listen.
Morning Kiss on Kiss FM. Kiss.
Lion, Achana Now, yeah, baby Achana.
Listen.
Now you're the love man.
Lion.
I love it. Achana Now. You know where you heard it first? Hit me up on the hashtag The Morning Kiss. How you feeling it? Clearly you're back.
Yes.
Is there more music?
Of course, definitely. This is the first single off the next EP. So I've been working on that. Remember, there's still a Necessary Noise comeback as well. So that's still in the works.
Yeah.
Hold tight.
Hold tight. I love it. Yeah. Wyre, thank you so much for coming through in the studio. And thank you for trusting us to drop this brand new single. Guys, hit us up on the hashtag The Morning Kiss. Let me know how you're feeling it. And this weekend, Achana Now. That's how we're ending it. Guys, I'll see you Monday, same time, same place. And remember, on Monday, I'm not going to be here by myself. Not only will we have a guest, but I'm going to have a co-host. And if you guessed who the person is, I know you don't know. Monday, be here 6 a.m. and find out the new show, Dash and Kwambooks. Who is Dash? Who's Dash?
You never know. Might be me.
Watch out. Patia story blogs, man.
You never know.
You never know.
Morning Kiss on Kiss FM.